Star Wars The Clone Wars recently completed the first arc of its final season, and it's a difficult one for me to evaluate. On one hand, I'm incredibly grateful to have more episodes of this series, so any Clone Wars content feels like a gift. On the other hand, the revival only consists of 12 episodes, which is far from a full completion of the series. The lost episodes of Season 6 only presented 13 of the intended 24 episodes for that season. Season 7 had another intended 24 episodes, and I've even heard talk that there are plans for an 8th season. While we don't know the exact number, it's safe to say that there were over 30 planned episodes that didn't end up getting made. I say this to point out that while the revival is a gift to fans, it's only a fraction of the episodes that we would have gotten if the series had never been cancelled. Because of that, these arcs are in the tough position of carrying the weight of all the stories we didn't get. For me, there was this sense that if these 12 episodes were the ones chosen, they had to be the best of the best. This series has had some truly great story arcs, so the bar is very high. Does the Bad Batch arc rank among the series' best? To be perfectly honest, I don't believe it does. However, that's not to say that it isn't a good arc. It has heart, some fun moments, and some great action sequences, but ultimately feels a little lacking in emotional depth as well as thematic and narrative complexity. The first 2 episodes of the arc were a great setup. We get a closer look at Anakin's friendship with Rex than we've ever had before. I was surprised to learn that Anakin trusted Rex with the secret of his marriage, but it was a great revelation that really worked to serve the idea of Anakin returning the loyalty that Rex has shown him for years. I also love the moment of Obi-Wan revealing that he knows about Padme by cheekily calling Anakin out. My one minor gripe about the first episode is that they kind of telegraph Echo's return a bit too much by having Rex suspect that he's alive before hearing the broadcast with his voice and number. It would have been enough of a setup to only have Rex mention that he created the plans with Echo, then reminisce about Echo and all the brothers he has lost in the war. But aside from that, I thought these 2 episodes established a great foundation of Rex looking to save his brother, and the reintroduction of a transformed Echo who has been used in a horrifically dehumanizing way by the Separatists. The latter half of this arc is where they kind of dropped the ball. The 3rd episode centers on their escape, delivering some cool chase sequences and a big fun battle. The 4th episode has Echo using his knowledge and unique abilities to help win a major victory over the Separatists. Both of these episodes are enjoyable and have some nice character moments, but on the whole they felt a little too lightweight in terms of the drama, depth, and complexity of the storytelling. At the end of the arc, Rex encourages Echo to go with the Bad Batch if he feels like he belongs with them. Echo considers this, and he chooses to become a part of their team and separate from Rex once again. It's a nice conclusion, but it's a bit unearned because it feels like we're missing a vital story beat in this arc. In the episode of Clone Wars Download that goes behind the scenes of Episode 4, Dave Filoni suggests that it's probably hard for the regular clones to accept Echo after his physical and mental transformation. Since this was the idea for Echo's motivation to join the Bad Batch, we really need to be shown that for the journey of his arc to feel fully realized. It would have been great to have scenes of other clones being uncomfortable around Echo. Maybe even some that he fought side by side with might feel a little awkward around him and keep their distance, adding to a sense of isolation that Rex alone can't make up for. This would create an understanding between Echo and the Bad Batch because they relate to this experience. We see that Crosshair has an attitude of disdain toward regular clones. It would have been great to peel back the layers a bit and reveal that this attitude is a response to the rejection that he and the rest of Clone Force 99 have experienced from the others. This little bit of additional depth would help to elevate the Bad Batch beyond their basic characterizations that felt a little bit too much like stock characters from lesser action cartoons and movies. Given the emotion they were looking to elicit from Rex and Echo's separation at the end of the arc, it really would have helped to dig in deeper to explore their friendship as well as their psychology as individuals. Echo was literally made into a tool of the Separatists, but this only happened to him because the Republic essentially uses him and all the other clones as tools for their own ends. Perhaps Echo feels some resentment, leading to a disagreement between himself and Rex, as they voice differing ideas about their role in the war. While it wouldn't necessarily lead to animosity, it would create some distance as the two realize that they aren't as similar as they used to be, and don't relate to each other as easily. Ideally, it would have been great to have a quieter, more contained episode in between episodes 3 and 4 to do a lot of the character and thematic exploration. However, assuming that the limits of the budget constrained them to only 12 episodes, I think episode 3 would have been the one to reconfigure in order to work the needed material in. The escape sequence could have been condensed to the first 5 minutes, 10 if they really needed it, which would leave at least half of the episode to explore Echo's struggle to reintegrate into the clone army. With that be added to the story, I think that both episode 4's depiction of Echo coming into his own and his ultimate decision to join the Bad Batch would have landed more effectively. It's worth noting that this was originally planned as only the introduction of the Bad Batch, who would have returned in at least one more arc that may have delved deeper into Echo and the others. Because of that, I think it was written more as a foundation than a complete story of this ensemble. However, with the knowledge that these 12 episodes are likely the last chance that Filoni and his team will have to produce content for the series, I believe they should have taken the opportunity to restructure and rework the Bad Batch arc more extensively to craft a more satisfyingly complete story. On the whole, this was a decent arc. While not among the series' best, I'd say it's slightly above average. Given the fact that we're not likely to get many Rex stories beyond Clone Wars, I understand the desire to make him a priority in this season and set up for his role in the final arc. Yet, since the story fails to really dig deep to show us something new and essential about Rex, it's hard for me to see this arc as a better choice than something like an adaptation of Son of Dathomir. If I had to grade the Bad Batch arc, I'd give it a B, maybe a B+. A little disappointing in its second half, but still an engaging ride elevated by some standout character moments and great visuals. That wraps up my review for the Bad Batch, but I do plan on making some more Clone Wars videos in the coming weeks, including reviews for the next 2 arcs. I've decided to review the entire 4-part arcs upon their completion rather than reviewing each episode, because I really prefer to see how the episodes function as part of a whole so I can assess their true value. I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on the Bad Batch arc, the revival season of the Clone Wars, and anything else related to the series, so please share them in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and if you liked what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next time.